Hello friends and family, Boy here, and I know it's pretty late, but my eyes are also tired. Stop complaining, Goni. Just get on this podcast and help the youngster out there. I know a lot of youngsters have been asking me, how is it playing professional rugby and how can I obviously get a contract overseas, particularly for the boys back in Zimbabwe. And I want to tell you one thing, that professionalism starts with you. Before you sign that paper, you got to be professional in everything that you do. So I'm probably going to take a few minutes to go through what it takes to become a professional and what you need, especially probably starting from high school, maybe primary school, even you're a rugby athlete and you want to be a professional. So what I will tell you right now is you probably form 6, form 4, and you're looking at playing professional rugby in the future. That is a very good thing. The most important thing is you want to do something that you love, right? That's really crucial, okay? If you're not doing the things that you love in life, you're literally committing spiritual suicide, and you don't want that. So you're a young athlete, you want to play professional rugby one day, and a lot of youngsters look into going to play into France, Europe. Everybody's got this hype. I want to play professional rugby one day. You got somebody that you look up to. It might be Cheslin Colby, it might be anybody out there playing a pro rugby in France, and that's very good, fair and fine. But there are a few things that you should equip yourself before you actually move over or you sign a contract. The first important thing is the thing that I mentioned, that you have to be professional in everything that you do before you even sign that paper. You got to be professional, you got to be punctual, you have to be putting in the work. Now, getting to sign a contract, it's not easy. So you are form 4, you are upper 6, just finished your exams. The first important thing that you need to do, never take a gap year where you're taking a break. Rugby is just, you got to keep playing rugby because the game is forever changing, and for you to try catch up after taking a gap year is not good. So what I did is I finished my A-level at Hillcrest, and straight from Hillcrest I went to an academy, which is the Sharks Academy. So the best thing that you can do for yourself, you finished high school, you want to play professional rugby one day, is you got to go through an academy. Okay, there are the likes of Kevin Bosch, fly half from Sharks Academy. He went from high school into Super Rugby. Now those are special athletes, and I mean you are special as well. But for Kevin Bosch, he started playing at the Sharks. They would put him on the on the hooker when it's line out, so he doesn't have to be in the traffic because he was not really contact fit. So all those things matter. So the most important thing and the crucial thing that you have to do as an athlete or rugby athlete in particular, you have to make sure that you go through an academy. There you are mandated to become a professional player before you even sign a contract. So being a professional player is not always about signing a contract or having a salary at the end of the month. That's not what it means. It just means you're being pro in everything that you're doing. You're training like a professional athlete. So that will definitely help you before you look at coming overseas, signing a contract. It will happen maybe 1 or 2 incidents, like I said, Kevin Bosch or Andre Oosterhuizen, the special athletes. You might be a very good kicker. I know I come from Zimbabwe. We had the likes of Hombiro. He was almost drafted into the Sables because he was a very good kicker. He was in a position where you're a fly half. Contact is not really a thing that's really important. You can obviously kind of get away with that. So it's important to get into academy. That's number one thing. Get into academy, work the way out, enjoy the process, put in the work, get your body used to the heats, because when you go straight from high school into a professional setup, it's not going to be the same as high school rugby. It's slower, but the physicality, you might not be ready. I know you might say I'm a beast, whatever, but go through an academy. It's really important. Take a year in an academy or 2 years. Put in the work in the gym. Do extras. Work-ons. Do specifics. What you really need to do. Just polish yourself. For me, going through an academy is really beneficial to any athlete trying to be a professional rugby player, because you don't want to come to Europe. You don't want to go to a club, a professional club, when you're not ticking all the boxes, because you're going to have a big problem when you get there. You might be demoralized when you're not making it into the team because you've got some gray areas that needs to be fixed. So it's really important that you get into an academy. If you're from Zimbabwe, there's Sharks Academy. I mean, this is free marketing for them, but it was very good for me. I went there 2 years, 3 years I was down in South Africa, and also the club rugby is amazing down in South Africa. That's where you get also a lot of game time, playing with some seniors in Durban, or it might be Cape Town, wherever you are. The level of rugby in South Africa is actually amazing. Club rugby is actually very good and challenging, and it's not easy to make it. You start playing the second teams, first teams. If you're getting better and better, you're making the first teams, and then you can sort of gauge, okay, I'm getting better. I can obviously exceed my talent and my efforts, and I can become a better player. And that's when you can start looking at going into Europe, Japan, and all of those things. But just coming from high school, it's very hard to, I must say non-existent, but it's very hard to just get a contract straight, to Europe. I've never had a case where somebody just went straight from Europe, straight from Zimbabwe to Europe to play rugby. I've hardly had cases like that. But you've seen what most of the guys did is you go through an academy. You've got Hilton Modariki, a very formidable athlete. He's gone through UJ. That's another option as well. You can go through universities in South Africa, and that's something that I was going to get into. While you're trying to pursue your pro rugby, you also have to pursue education, because it's really important. Universities in South Africa actually do offer those, and I know it's very hard to balance education and sports, but you have to do what you have to do, because at the end of the day, it's not a backup plan, or it's not something to fall on, but it's just you got to keep moving on in life, keep developing. You finished your A level, you got to keep going on with school. Don't drop one thing, and just keep balancing it up. You can do it. You got ample time to do it. I know rugby takes a lot of time and everything like that, but school is also very important, because you got to know how to manage the funds, even if you get the salaries at the end of the day. I'm not playing for the biggest team, that you can say you might think, he's playing in France, but I'm grateful, and I thought this information could help the people back home, especially young athletes who always ask me, how do I get to Europe? And I get all DMs, direct messages, kids asking me, how do I get into Europe? First thing, go to an academy, work your way up. That's what you need. Okay, in terms of what work-ons you should do, it depends with your positions. If you're a fly half, you gotta love kicking. If you're a center, you gotta love evasive running. You gotta do a lot of reaction drills and etc. etc. They will help you. They've got the quality coaches to help you. I remember when I was at the Sharks Academy, we had Springbok coaches coming down to help us. AB Zandoger, and an amazing coach, brilliant coaches that helped me through with skill. And I don't think that I would have survived the European culture or the European rugby club system if I had not gone through the academy. If I had just come raw, I would have been demoralized by not making it into the teams here. So going to an academy is a must if you want to pursue rugby at a professional level. And that is me. Thank you very much. I hope I got everything right. And in terms of help, if you need extra help, I will try and help you, but it's just the information that I've got from my head, and I really thought about it, and I think maybe it could help one or two guys out there. So all the best in your career. Remember, whatever you need, you can get it right wherever you are. Use what you have, start where you are. I know it might be difficulties with finances and etc., but pray about it. God makes a way. I've had great mentors, Roy Onwale helping me as well along the way. Getting my first contract in Spain. It's not really something big, but I'm so grateful that the journey, we just keep going up in life, and that's what's really important. It's never really about, okay, he's not playing in France, what is he talking about? But I know there's a lot of youngsters who've been messaging me, so I decided to do this YouTube video just to help you out there, boys, and go out there and have fun. Enjoy your rugby, balance it with the balance it with education, because education is also very important. As you know, your parents will be up on you. And I know a lot of kids also might be going through scenarios where your parents don't want to see you at the rugby field, and they see you not, and your parents might be like, oh, he doesn't stand a chance in rugby, we're just wasting time. The thing you have to do is you have to polish up your craft. If you're in Zimbabwe and you want to one day come to Europe and play professional rugby, you got to be becoming the best player in Zimbabwe. You got to be the top player there in Zimbabwe. And I'm not only saying that if you're not good enough until Form 6, then drop the game. No. There are late bloomers. I was a late bloomer. I played cricket all my life. But what I just said is, if you put your mind, if you put everything into it, you would definitely get a reward out of it. So at the end of the day, for you to convince your parents, you got to be also a very obedient youngster, and you got to work extra in terms of rugby, making sure you're making the teams, be it Craven Week, whatever it is, and also making sure that you are balancing that with your education, so you're a good student that understands both how things. So you become a good student that is in good books with the parents. Thank you very much, guys. Yes.